So, Dr. Corsi, the storm blew in on Monday, and it appears that the clouds are parting and the Great Awakening has begun. What do you say?
I think you're right, Craig. I mean, I see it. We're going to talk today about how the trumpet is being blown. This is we have the Jericho March going on. We've talked about that. We'll get it. We'll explain it again. And we now have trumpet.today, which is the new social media site that's going to support these Jericho marches in the state capitals. We're going to bring out millions of people between now and the 14th of December, when the Electoral College meets. And on the December 12th, there's going to be a massive rally in Washington, D.C. with car caravans and buses and all going to Washington to bring people. And this is going to be historic because today is the first day. It's like the knot is being cut. Now you're going to see that Trump is going to be president. And there's just no doubt about it. Trump is going to be reelected. And these criminals are going to be arrested and prosecuted. And that probably includes Hillary, probably includes Obama, includes a lot more. Today is November 19th, 2020. It's an historic day today. I want everybody to mark it on your calendars. This day, I don't know what this day is going to be called. Certainly, that'd be good if this were Thanksgiving, which is just around the corner, right, Craig?
Oh, Thanksgiving is next week. If the Democrat tyrants will allow us to have turkey with our families,
maybe we'll cook the Democrats and carve them up. What do you think?
Yummy.
Oh yeah. Okay, so today's Thursday. Thanksgiving is 1 week away, and we are going to have a Thanksgiving, because if anybody doubts the power of prayer, or if anybody does not have an experience of God in their life, this is the moment to have that experience. This is it. There's never been in our lifetime, certainly not in my lifetime, and I'm older than most everybody listening to the show. But the point is, I don't try to hide that. I know who I am, and this is who I am. Okay. And I don't know why God has had me living this long and I'm still kicking around. Well, I guess it's in his plan.
You're younger than Joe Biden.
Joe who?
Isn't it Biden? That guy that was running for Senate.
It's kind of like if I said to you, who was the presidential candidate for the Republicans in 1976?
Oops. I can't remember.
His name was Gerald Ford.
Oh, that one. The golfer.
Who beat him?
Carter.
Jimmy Carter. Yeah, it was Gerald Ford. I mean, the losing candidate, everybody has a hard time remembering, because.
And who was his vice president on that ticket?
Oh, Ford, vice president? Oh, now you got me stumped. Who was he?
I have no clue.
I mean, who cares? I mean, now we're into trivia. This is like a trivia question.
That was for 100.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's for 100. Okay, so this is a historic day today. Let's start right into it as to why. And I think, Craig, the story. There's so many articles out on this right now. Let's try the Breitbart. Let's go to Breitbart and pick their top article. And there's a couple I want to talk about, but the language in them is a little rough. So hold on here. Let's start with this one. I'll make sure you've got it here. I'll put it up in the messages. Oh, here it is right here. And let's put it up in the screen. This is just astounding. I mean, I never expected this to happen. I went to sleep last night. This was I didn't think this was possible. Republican canvassers in Detroit, which is the Wayne County in Michigan, rescind their votes to certify the Wayne County, Michigan election in Michigan, that county. That means, remember yesterday, there's 4 people on this canvassing board. The canvassing board is responsible in the county for saying whether the election is certified, whether it's done and legitimate. And the vote, usually they don't have an even number on these boards that have to make decisions, because when you get 2 and 2, you've got a tie. And a tie means that they do not certify, because they have to have a majority or unanimous. And not certify means the election was invalid. It was fraudulent. So if there's proof of fraud in one county, because Detroit is the biggest county in Michigan, that turns the whole election. That means that the election that occurred in Michigan is not valid. which means that Michigan's electors will be selected to be the Republican electors, because Michigan is a Republican held majority in the state legislature of Michigan. And the Republicans are going to say Biden electors are not here because it was not certified for Biden. And we're Republican, it's certified for Trump. Biden tried to steal it. He failed. We have proof of it. Biden loses. So what the article says is the 2 Republican members of the Wade County Board of Canvassers in Michigan rescinded their votes to certify the election results, saying Wednesday they were bullied into changing their original votes, and state authorities had refused to conduct an audit because, the governor in Michigan is a Democrat. All these Democrats want to close everything down and destroy the economy, and they don't care about the law. They're going to steal elections. And so what they decided, well, we're not going to conduct an audit, because we're going to say the election was valid. We know it was fraudulent. We know we can't prove it was legitimate. We don't care. Just certify it, because they don't care about the law. They're communists. Democrats are communists. If it says Democrat, vote against it. If they're we don't want any Democrats in any office in the United States. They're communists. They will destroy the economy. They will destroy. Do you agree with that, Craig?
Right, absolutely. And what's interesting is the other day it appeared that these 2 reticent canvassers were going to go along because of the bullying. And not only were they bullied, we saw that you played yesterday, Dr. Corsi, that Zoom call where the bullies were on there trying to force them, the demons, these Democrat operatives. But it went even deeper than that. They were threatening their children. But it appears they've gotten the backbones back, and they have decided this is a bridge too far. We will fight back against this darkness.
Yes. And can we find that bullying film? I'd like to show that bullying clip if we can find it, because it was so, I could not believe what these guys were doing and how they were doing it. And let me just see if I can search for it. Hold on again, because this was just dramatic yesterday. There was this guy in this orange suit. He looks like he had a jumpsuit or something. And, like he was a criminal. Like, when you rob a bank, they get the money. Well, the money explodes when they get out of the bank, and it puts orange dye all over everybody, which you can't get rid of. This orange dye is indelible. And so their suits, their clothes, their hands, their face are all in red dye. That's so they can be found. Please go look for somebody with red dye all over them. They think they got the money. What they got was exploding money with red dye in it. Right? That's how banks respond to bank robberies. That's how these stupid criminals, and most criminals are not that bright. Most crimes can be detected because the criminals leave all kinds of traces of who they were. And anybody who's any good at investigations can pretty much figure it out looking at the site. I trained people how to be able to do that when I was younger. At any rate, I don't know if we can find that or not, but it was this guy in this orange jumpsuit. He was angry. He looked like a demon. And he was saying to the 2 canvassers who were saying we can't certify this election, the 2 who now rescinded their votes to certify the election. This changes everything. One state saying the election was fraudulent. Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani win. Today they know they've won. Today they know Biden and Harris know they're not going to be president today because of this. Okay, now there are a couple of good clips we can find. A couple of things. I want to go here, Craig, to this one. I don't know if we can put up on the screen because the language here is just a little rough. I mean, more than a little rough. This language, I don't think we can show it. Okay. But I'm going to give it to you so you can read it, and as we go along. Maybe you can bring up the picture that's there.
What I did for the bullying of the canvassers, I found a screenshot of one of the 2 bullies. The Gateway Pundit had posted that, and I've just got the still shot up on the screen right now for a second.
Oh, good. So you can see this guy in the orange jumpsuit?
No, this is the other guy. This is the guy with the beard that was trying to dox the children.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's the guy who, this was unbelievable. There were these communist leftists on the board of the canvassers, the 2 of them who were, Democrats, went insane. So they exposed and published on the internet the children of the 2 canvassers who said, we're not going to certify the election because it was fraudulent.
Where they
Now,
go to school so that their schoolmates could bully them.
which is just, this is way beyond the normal politics. Way, way beyond. You don't do this. Okay, now what happened is that people were so angry at this screaming. Okay, and they first of all, I went into gab.com, which is a good website, another competitor to Twitter. And by the way, Twitter is done, Facebook is done. Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg better get criminal attorneys because they're going to face treason charges. They participated in a scheme to subvert the Constitution. That's treason. To steal an election. This is treason. These are high crimes. What's the penalty for someone convicted of treason, Craig?
They typically hang from a tree.
Hanging. Traitors are hung. And I think even today the penalty would be hanging. I mean, that's what we're facing for some of these people. Okay, now, some of the comments that were generated in the internet in reaction to seeing these leftists doxing and screaming like demons at the two canvassers who are trying to tell the truth. The election's fraudulent. It's obviously fraudulent. And so they're saying, F that Aladdin, al-Jizrag, al-Qaeda piece of commie blank, who threatened them on a Zoom call, and F, you just got to fill this in the orange jumpsuit, blabbing about blah, 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 racism and blah, 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 right side of history, blah, blah, blah. They and their fellow subhumans deserve to burn in hell.
Well, tell us what you really think.
Well, unfortunately, I think I don't think that's stated strong enough. I think, come on, you do better than that. Get rid of the bad words and say what you think, but get rid of the bad. So they should remember that legal process is literally the only thing preventing that from occurring before trying to circumvent the law. That's what they're going to do, trying to circumvent the law. Then they have a picture of this guy in a photo that he's putting up he's got a mask. And this mask stuff is just really pathetic. They don't really prevent the COVID. I mean, you don't see Governor Newsom in California much worried about COVID when he and his buddies go to this, probably the most expensive restaurant in California, this French laundromat or whatever they call the damn thing. The hoity-toity $1,000 bottles of wine. They weren't wearing masks and they weren't social distancing. That's for all of you slaves. We, the elite, the communist masters, we don't need to follow our own rules.
Or just like Nancy Pelosi, who goes to her hairdresser without her mask on.
Yeah, I mean, so
that's Gavin Newsom's aunt, by the way.
How much do you think that dinner cost?
Per person? 500? I don't know.
Oh, no. My guess is $20,000 for that dinner.
Yikes.
20,000, and they didn't care. Probably public money. Okay,
Mask's
another
optional.
one. Another one said yes, and these two canvassers should have never agreed to vote in favor of certifying an election that was known fraud in the first place. Where do we get these losers? Public school educated and both dumber than a rock. No.
Box of rocks.
Criminal. They're not dumb. They're criminal. They're communist criminals. They're demons. Communists only destroy and kill. Satan only destroys and kills.
Even the mobsters, Dr. Corsi, have a code. Well, then we'll not go after the family of their enemies. And these people are lower than gangsters.
That's correct. I agree with that. That's exactly correct. Okay, now I want to shift to a couple more things about. There's this picture of General Flynn and Giuliani yesterday. They were together. And of course, they're not wearing masks either. These masks are just complete nonsense. They're more like this is the fascist side. Fascists are leftists. Hitler was a National Socialist, and he was a socialist. He wanted universal health care. He wanted free state-paid vacations for middle-class workers. And then he wanted the multinational corporations to rule the world. Krupp, which was a arms manufacturer, steel company, in Germany, working with U.S. Steel in the United States, and interlocking shares. So the same people own both companies. And it was architected on Wall Street by Prescott Bush, who was the father of George H.W. Bush and the grandfather of George W. Bush. He was a Nazi. He ran Union Bank, which Franklin Roosevelt closed down after Pearl Harbor. That was a Hitler Nazi bank in the United States, Union Bank. I can see the notice at that time, which I've researched. No, I wasn't alive in 1940, December 7, 1941. Don't go.
Are you paying too much for your health insurance? Are your deductibles too high? Or are you completely uninsured? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Healthcare Help Desk can help you now when people need help the most. Health insurance laws and rules have changed. If you have Obamacare, are uninsured, or your premiums are too high, call Healthcare Help Desk. It's free. New healthcare plans are available, and you may qualify for dental coverage and lower copays and deductibles. Make the free call now. Top quality coverage at the lowest prices anywhere. You may be paying too much and not even know it. In these troubled times, healthcare is more important than ever. Don't let another day go by without health insurance. Policies are being offered with very low copays and deductibles. So if you're uninsured, underinsured, or paying too much, call Healthcare Help Desk. Learn about your options before it's too late.
Call 800-964-1055. 800-964-1055.
Attention Medicare recipients and anyone turning 65. Medicare has approved new benefits not included with original Medicare and older Medicare Advantage plans. You may not be getting all of the benefits you're entitled to. These new Medicare Advantage plans may have many free new benefits including in-home aids, telephone appointments with your doctors, home-delivered meals and prescriptions. These benefits may be available and it's a free call to enroll. The easiest way to enroll is to call the Medicare Benefits Line, a free non-government service. The new plans may also offer free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free wellness visits, and gym memberships. Call the Medicare Benefits Line now. It's easy. Find out if you're eligible for new benefits like meal and prescription delivery, in-home aids, and telemedicine. Some plans may have a $0 monthly premium or zero copays for big out-of-pocket savings.
Call 800-691-1655. 800-691-1655.
Medicare Benefits Line is not connected with or endorsed by any government agency or the federal Medicare program.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions Now.
Call 800-447-7570. 800-447-7570.
Quite that far back. And by the way, Donald Trump was born in June 1946. I was born in August, 2 months later, 1946. Okay. And so that article was internal to the New York Times, and it said that FDR closed down Union Bank, Nazi Bank, and Prescott Bush was running it. Allen Dulles was there. I mean, the whole crowd, the Averell Harrimans were there. And these people became very prominent in Democratic Party politics. And the Bush party, you know, the Dulleses were Democrats and the Bushes were Republicans. Both parties were controlled by the same guys. These basically were Nazis. They were socialist, and the socialist part was FDR, and the multinational corporation part was the Bushes. Okay, so that was the Nazi. We are the Fourth Reich. If these people win, we're the next Nazi government.
And here's their street thugs. Dr. Corsi, I found the photo of that, or a video of that, the demon in orange from Wayne County.
Oh.
And I just got it up on the screen so you can see this guy as he was ranting and raving. So I just wanted to show the people what you were talking about a minute ago. I'm playing a little bit right now.
We're going to play it now. Play it.
Racism that you
like Bull Connor or George Wallace.
So I just played enough of it for you to get the flavor where he's even threatening the next generation. Not only the kids today, their kids today, but their grandchildren.
This is the kind of insanity we're dealing with. These people are nuts, and they want power. Well, as of today, I can tell you they're going to lose. Okay, now let's get some more proof that they're going to lose, because I know this today. This is historic today, what we're doing right now. Okay, here's the article about Giuliani, and I will find the picture of Giuliani and Flynn together yesterday, smiling. They know they've won. They know they have won. Sidney Powell today will know she has won. And this article is from One American News. Let me just get it here. I'm trying to, this is going so fast today. I've got so many things in my mind that I want to tell you that just bear with me.
And while you're saying that, Dr. Corsi, we don't have to bear with you. We can show exactly what you were talking about.
Okay.
Here is the picture. I've got it up on the screen right now of Rudy Giuliani and Lieutenant General Flynn with, I believe that's Flynn's wife in between. A big smiles all around.
Big smiles.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Attorney Jenna Ellis is with them, I believe.
She's Attorney General where?
Isn't that, hang on. It doesn't give anything other than the caption.
Okay, well,
I don't know where she is.
Giuliani is now, they have a major victory. The Supreme Court of Pennsylvania gave the Trump campaign a go-ahead to present its case to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania on a case of alleged voter fraud in Pennsylvania. On Wednesday, the Supreme Court in Pennsylvania agreed to hear arguments of the president's legal team, who said that at least 8,000 mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania were filled out improperly. In other words, they're fraudulent. Wow, if they decide that's the case, if we have Michigan and Pennsylvania with fraudulent elections, this is over. Just all that we're waiting for is for them to play the music. And for the Democrats, it'll be a funeral march. Either that or the march to the guillotine. Okay, the drum roll. So Rudy Giuliani is texting, the Democrat machine in cities across the United States has been cheating in elections for generations. And he is right. Machines, it goes way back. It goes back to before FDR's time. He was in office from 1932 as president until he died in 1945. He was in office for, well, that's about 13 years. He was elected 4 times to president. That's why we have the 25th Amendment, which is the 22nd Amendment, which limits the number of terms a president can run into 2 terms or 10 years. If you were vice president like Truman was, and you picked up a couple of years because FDR died and you became president, you still get to run twice on your own time, as long as the total number of years your president doesn't add up to more than 10. Okay, so Giuliani is saying, at real Donald Trump is putting a stop to it now. Count every legal vote. At Boris EP. I don't know who Boris EP is. I know some Borises that are pretty important. This Boris Epstein, he's a strategic advisor, special assistant to POTUS, communications director of the Trump inaugural battle for 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's a podcast. And, well, he's going to get to plan the inauguration, I guess, for January 20th, 2021, because Trump is going to be president. There's just no doubt about it. Pennsylvania hears these arguments. They're going to say, here's 8,000 ballots. Here's how they were filled out wrong. Here's the affidavits as to why they're fraudulent. What do the Democrats have to say? Democrats are going to say, I don't know, the Russians did it. The Russians did it. The Russians did it. Oh, this is Russian collusion. The Russians did it. Because the Russians are in collusion with Trump. The Russians did it. Yeah, well, no, the Democrats did it. The Democrat mafia criminal communists did it. Okay, and there's so many of these we can show, but that article, let's go back to the article again. What's going to happen here? The president's team, led by Rudy Giuliani, said these ballots represent a sample of a larger number of illegal votes. The ballots are signed, but do not have names or addresses on their envelopes which makes it unclear where they came from. So they've got the envelopes for these ballots. And a ballot with an envelope that doesn't identify who sent it cannot be associated with a voter on the voter registration list. So it is, by its nature, fraudulent. It should have been, I'm sorry, this is not a good vote. The votes have to, not only do you have to prove you're registered, and the Democrats will register you, if you come in from another state and say you're planning to move to Georgia, they'll register you. Anybody who's going to vote for Democrats gets registered. Anybody who gets votes for Republicans are told to go home because they already voted. They already voted because the Democrats voted your name fraudulently, and you're not going to let you vote your own name because you won't vote for Democrats. That's how corrupt it is. Okay, and so when the Pennsylvania court decided to hear this case, that's a signal that they can't defend the criminality any longer. Okay, now, who this is going to affect? This is a tough question, Craig. I don't know if very many people will come up with the answer. Who is going to make an impact on that the court in Pennsylvania has decided to take this case of the fraudulent ballots in Pennsylvania? There's one person in particular that's going to make an impact on.
John Roberts?
Close. That's a very good answer.
Coney Barrett?
Bingo, you got it. That is a real tough one. You got it. I am impressed. Judge Barrett has been hiding under her desk, saying, "Oh, please, I just got here to the Supreme Court. Do I really have to do this? Why does my first decision have to be historic? Why am I saying that, the election was stolen, Biden's a criminal, the entire Democratic Party is communist criminals, and Trump that'll cause a civil war?" She said, and she's just saying, reminds me what Jesus prayed in the Garden Gethsemane just before he was arrested to be crucified. You remember what Jesus was praying?
Yeah, to move this cup from me, but thy will be done.
You're on top of it today. I'll tell you. You boom, boom, boom. You got it. Yeah, he said, he's prayed to God, take this cup from me. I don't want to have to drink this. What I'm going to have to, okay, I agreed to be born. I'm, a son of God. I'm here. I know God and man. I'm, a human being, and I'm going to have to suffer and die like this because this was the deal. But I'm really not going to enjoy the next 48 hours or so because it is
cup of wrath,
excruciatingly painful. And what do the disciples, his followers do? Well,
sleep.
They would sleep. Couldn't you guys stay awake a little bit longer and pray with me? You don't have no clue what I know is going to happen. And then what happened next? Who came in with the Romans and kissed him?
It's that Judas character.
Here comes one of the most beloved. This is like except for maybe John. This is and the Last Supper. Judas is that Christ says, one of these guys is going to betray me. One of you guys is going to betray me.
Is it me, Lord?
Yeah, and that's what Leonardo's famous picture of the Last Supper is all about. Which one? That picture is the moment Christ says, one of you is going to betray me. And the disciples are all trying to figure out which is the one. That's the picture. That's what Leonardo painted, that moment. Okay, and Christ knew he was betrayed from within. Okay, now, when Amy Coney Barrett says, they proved the case. I mean, this is like, okay, so it's like a baseball game where the, team scores 22 runs in the first 3 innings. Now, I remember a game like that. The Cleveland Indians, I think they were playing Baltimore or somebody 3 or 4 years ago. And it was like 22-0. And I'm saying, I don't need to watch this game anymore. That I was watching it, the Indians score 4 runs. And I said, this is kind of interesting. So I watched they score more runs. And pretty soon they're at like 18-22. And I'm saying, I don't know if they're really going to pull this off. And then it's 22-22. And I'm saying, this game, and then the Indians win.
Wow.
25-22.
And at that point, there's only 2 people watching, you and the mother of the coach.
Yeah, I mean, I said, I'm just gonna hang in with this for a while and see where it goes. I had this instinct, this feeling like these guys are, these guys are on like the Blues Brothers. We're on a mission from God. Remember that was what the Blues Brothers movie was all about. What were their names?
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi. I actually saw them at Red Rocks in California, Colorado, Red Rocks, one summer when they were doing the Blues Brothers. And it's this big outdoor theater. It's a beautiful place. And you're in the outdoors. It's cool.
I'm a soul man.
It's a great movie. And both of them came out and they were wearing their black suits and their black hats and their shades. And they were doing this soul man thing and doing the dance, which they had down, which is, I could see it because the movie is hilarious.
Classic. And
they are on a mission from God. It was Elrod and somebody else. There were their names in the movie, the two Blues Brothers.
They just got out of Joliet.
Yeah. Each one of them just got out of prison and they're driving this broken down car and they're on a mission from God. The Bluesmobile. They're a mission from God. And they get all these people together and it's all a mission from God. I don't even remember what they were trying to achieve. But
they're getting the band back together.
They got the band back together. That's right. They get the band back together. Well, this is the Jericho March, by the way. This is a version of the Blues Brothers. Millions of people are going to be around the state legislatures blowing the trumpet. And we now do have trumpet.today. Show that, Craig. It's ready. Sign up on it. This is going to be the new Twitter. It's named for trumpet. These guys had created trumpet. And I knew about this like in June. I said, Dr. Corsi, we got to get Donald Trump on trumpet. We named trumpet because of Trump. You can blow the trumpet. Okay, so that's great. And so we agreed to do that. And then so down the road here now, about 2 weeks ago, this Rob Weaver, who I didn't know, took a leave from the White House. He was an advisor to Trump. And he said, I had a dream. God said, I want you to get a Jericho march, get a Jericho march and blow the trumpet. Well, Rod Weaver, who's a devout Christian, Jesus Christ is clearly his Lord and Savior, as mine, same. And he says, okay, well, Joshua, of course, the Battle of Jericho in the Bible, the book of Joshua, chapter 6. Joshua is the leader of the Jews after Moses died. And now they're back in the promised land. They're back in Canaan, which is roughly today Israel, what they call the Levant, this area in the Middle East. That's where Obama wouldn't say Israel because he's a Muslim culturally. He hates the Jews, hates Israel, and wants Iran to have a bomb so that they can get rid of Israel. That's Obama. I've known that for a long time. I wrote about him being raised as a Muslim in Indonesia when I wrote his Obama Nation, which is going to be an historic book. By the way, you can get a copy of it. I'll sign it now, and that's part of the donations. If you take a look at CorsiNation.com. That's an historic book because Rob Weaver said, we're going to do what Joshua did. We're going to march. God said the city of Jericho, which had to be beaten in order to get Canaan, the land, to be the Jewish state of Israel, which God had ordained be created. And it's why they went on the Exodus coming out of Egypt to create Israel. They had to defeat the Canaans in Jericho. So God says, go around the wall vacation for 6 days with the Ark of the Covenant leading, and then the priests with these trumpets, followed by the army. You go all the way around the city to march and do that for 6 days in a row. And then on the seventh day, go around it 6 times. And on the seventh time going around it, have the priests blow the trumpets. Well, they did that when the priests blew the horns. What happened, Craig?
I think those walls came tumbling down.
Yeah, the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. There's songs about that and poems and all the, and there's also the other,
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000.
You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club
For around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry.
They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more.
Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Angel Gabriel blowing a horn. Gabriel blow that horn. A horn is very, very big symbol. And this had to be a God event because we had trumpet created by these guys over here. And months later, the Jericho March created by this guy over here. And I put the two together. I said, here's your trumpet, Joshua. Go get the walls down on Jericho. And they're going to march around the state capitals. You all are going to do this. And you're going to be blowing trumpets. Bring trumpets with you and stand outside the legislature and blow these horns. And the legislatures will cave in, and the Biden electors will not go to Washington on the Electoral College. That won't happen. Won't happen. And this will be Christians and Jews. This is going to be the Judeo-Christian tradition, the same tradition that founded our country. Now, why is Biden and there's one reason Biden and Harris will never be president and vice president. It will never happen. And I can tell you this for a fact. Why is that, Craig?
Well, God is not going to let it happen. And bottom line is they represent everything that is Antichrist.
They represent one thing in particular that God will not permit to happen. Can you think of that? This one's hard too. These are all hard questions. You've so far gotten an A. You got 100%.
One thing that won't happen, they've already done everything or proposed everything that God would oppose. I'm sorry, I'm blanking out.
They did one thing that God would say, boom, that's it. And the Jews would say, boom, that's it. You know what that one thing is?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Biden said, I am going to return from Obama's relationship with Iran. And Kamala Harris says, I am going to start refunding the radical Palestinians who want to destroy Israel. Now, why is that against God's purpose?
Well, that's the whole purpose of that, is to destroy Israel.
With nuclear weapons. Okay, so now this group of Jews is the group that has for years given me, and I don't even know who they are, given me information that turns out always to be right. We have Boris on the website, and Boris, as I told you, has been a communicator of this information. And even he doesn't know where it comes from, but it's just always right. I mean, I don't care where it comes from. The information is always good. So they say a couple days ago, tell Dr. Corsi this, that if Biden and Harris are president and vice president, Iran will have a nuclear weapon in 2022, and there will be a nuclear war. And I said, well, how do they know? I can see how they know that Iran will have a nuclear weapon, because Biden and Harris, like Obama, and Obama is still running the show in the background. Biden isn't. Biden is gone. He's demented. He's losing his mind because of age, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he had an aneurysm or he had a stroke. I don't know what. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a PhD in political science from Harvard, but I didn't take the mind reading course, and I didn't go to medical school, and I didn't go to law school. I have a political science degree in the political science department, period. And I'm an investigative reporter. Okay, so basically here, Ezekiel, the war between Gog and Magog, and it sounds like there's a nuclear war that, is Ezekiel was reading or seeing some 2,000 years ago or more, whenever that date was, and God intervenes. And Israel is saved. That's what the story says. It doesn't tell you how God intervenes or what God does. God intervenes. Well, God's intervening again. And so I asked, well, how do you know that there's going to be a nuclear war when, I know Iran wants to have a nuclear, they've been telegraphing this for 25 years. So I've been so intense I've written 3 books on Iran. I've been so intense on this issue. God has given it to me so overwhelmingly. It's become it is an obsession with me. It's, well, Dr. Corsi, we know there's going to be a nuclear war because, as Jews, we're Israel, and we've told you this, Dr. Corsi. We'll start the nuclear war. We'll preemptively nuke Iran. We're not going to mess around. Now, if you had read my book, Why Israel Can't Wait, sometimes I get these things years before they happen. I wrote that book in 2009, and it's happening today. I thought it was going to happen right then. Well, it took a little while. I was in the office. I tell this in the book. I was in the office. Finally, I got in to meet. I was in Jerusalem for a month trying to get these meetings with different people. I finally called her. I said, Dr. Corsi, get ready. We're going to come over to King David Hotel. We're going to pick you up. I love the King David Hotel. It's one of the best hotels in the world. Just love it. Got great views of the walls of Jerusalem. I'd like to die there. If I'm going to, that would be my choice, to die in Jerusalem. I don't think it's going to be for a while, so don't get excited about it. The point is, I finally, they called me up, they picked me up, and they took me over to see General Yalon. He was a general, very, very war general from Israel. And he had an office like in the Knesset, one of these hideaway offices that don't exist. And he was like vice president. He was number 2 in the Israeli government, vice prime minister under Netanyahu. Or I think maybe it was under Olmert, and coming Netanyahu came in, and he was still going to be vice premier. I'd have to go back and look at those dates and get that in my head, because I knew, with Olmert and Netanyahu, and they both know who I am. Just like I've known Trump for a long time. We don't have dinner together, but we're not buddies. We don't call on the phone. I don't with Trump either. But he knows who I am, and I clearly know who he is. At any rate, I'm sitting there with Yalon. We're talking about Iran, because I'm there saying, Mr. Vice Prime Minister, what are you guys going to do about Iran? And he says to me, Dr. Corsi, how difficult do you think it would be for us to put out all the lights and all the electricity, all the computers, all the televisions in the Middle East, except to put out our own? We'll have ours on. I said, okay, I got the pictures. So the lights, Iran, none of the states, that are supporting Iran and want to kill and destroy it, they can't even get their airplanes started. And the Jews have complete control of all their armies. So they just kind of fly a mission into wherever they want to go. And it's a long distance from Jerusalem to Iran. It's about at the end of the distance of the fighter planes. But they have extra fuel. They've re-equipped these fighters to be able to do it. They did that years ago. And they'll get there, and there'll be no opposition, and they will just destroy Tehran. I'm sorry to say that. They will destroy Iran. There won't be. They'll know where the mullahs live. They'll be sending bombs down their toilet, like Reagan did to Gaddafi in 1980 something or other. And when the Jews are finished with this, they can do that. Iran gets a nuclear weapon. Why won't they just do that? And what I'm understanding is, Iran gets a nuclear weapon. We are not messing around. We just nuke them. So we just destroy everything in 5 minutes. And we don't have to fly any airplanes. We push a button. And, you have no idea, Dr. Corsi, they said to me, of our capabilities. You have no idea. Well, I knew that to be true because the Israelis, every cell phone you got in your pocket, that's Israeli technology. We fly our jets with Israeli technology. These Jews don't mess around. They got the best technology, the best military in the world. We think ours is good. Yeah, ours is bigger. It's more powerful. Can fight a longer war. But I solidly recommend not to get on the bad side of the Jews. Not when they're deadly serious. Not when they're defending Israel. Not when they're there on a mission from God. When they're going to blow the horn because God's told them how to do it and God's behind them. Get out of the way. Because they're gonna kill you. You're just. I'm sorry. God sent us here. You want to harm our child. You want to harm our baby. You want to harm our God. Well, I got news for you, buddy. Not going to happen this time. We listened to Hitler and he tried to kill us. Well, there's not going to be another Hitler because anybody who talks like Hitler, we're just going to eliminate now. So the minute Biden said he was going to refund Iran, and Harris said she was going to fund the Palestinians, I said, I turned the switch off, turned their lights out, said, you guys don't know it, but you just committed suicide. You're done. I'm going to go smoke a couple cigars and think about this. And I spoke too many, by the way, because I'm born Catholic. And I can't tell you that I'm still a Catholic because I'm really evangelical today. Much more my spirit. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I profess that openly, even on national television when Mueller was trying to imprison me, and he didn't succeed either.
But Dr. Corsi, while you're on the topic of Israel, would this be a good time to kind of segue over and talk about Alan Dershowitz and how he might bring an extra layer to what's going on with the fight to reelect President Trump?
Yeah, and can you? That's very good. Thank you, Craig, for doing that. There's an article, isn't there, recently about what Dershowitz said, and it was
it's in the Citizen Free Press, and I've got it on the screen right now with Alan Dershowitz, a devout Jew who is dedicated to the preservation of Israel, explaining how Trump can still win in the courts.
What's he say?
He's saying that, and this was to John Solomon, that the clock is a double-edged sword in this election. Because if they don't have enough time, but if they can put forward a sufficiently strong case, then they may be able to get some Republican secretaries of states or legislatures to say, look, we just don't have enough time to certify these electors. And if they can bring down the number of electors 35 to 37, from 305, bring it down to 267 or 268, then the election goes to the House where the Republicans win.
Thank you. That's exactly right. Dershowitz got the strategy. And what's Dershowitz signaling by doing this?
Well, I think what Dershowitz is signaling is he needs to be a part of the Trump team.
He wants in. Remember, Alan Dershowitz supported. Who is Alan Dershowitz? He's a law professor, constitutional law at Harvard Law School. Now, he's a Jew. He's a devout Jew. He's brilliant. And he argued in the Senate trial, the impeachment trial of Donald Trump, which was, I guess, February this year. That was about that period of time. It's hard to remember because the Democrats have thrown so much at Trump. Every one doesn't work, they bring out the next one. COVID and Antifa, and not one. The now fraudulent election and all the ballot counting and the fraud, and they'll keep playing this lawfare game, but they're going to lose. at any rate, Craig is right. If the legislatures, that's why the Joshua March is so important, because if the state legislatures, and the Constitution says, put up my article, Craig, have 100% authority to decide who the electors are, and they don't have to do it by the popular vote in the state, especially if it's not certified. They can elect either electors who will not certify the election, which means that state doesn't vote in the electoral college, and that means the electoral college isn't going to reach a conclusion. It's going to go to Congress, and Amy Coney Barrett doesn't have a hard decision to make, because the Constitution is, Article 2 is very clear. When the electoral college doesn't function, it goes to Congress, and Congress picks the president. And in the House, it's each state gets one vote, one delegate. It's not majority of the House members. And we control that today. We've got 26 of the 20. Democrats only have 23, and there's one delegation that's evenly divided between Democrats and Republicans. That's Minnesota. It will have more delegations if the vote in the Congress is after January 3rd, when the new Congress is certified. Depends on whether, but either way, we win. And Amy Coney Barrett is going to go to the other justices and say, look, this is not going to be hard. We just have to say that's the way the Constitution is written. So I'm sorry, guys, but we're not choosing president. We're just telling you what the Constitution says. And the Electoral College could not reach a decision of 270 for anybody. So it goes through Congress. Congress decides. And we're not picking winners. We're not saying Biden win. We know that, because the GOP holds the majority in the House, that it's going to be Trump is going to be president. But we didn't choose that, because the people voted, and the people voted for 26 states where the Republicans had the majority of the House members. Even though the Democrats, because of California and these other states with the big populations, have the majority in the number of members of the House. GOP controls the delegations. That's how the Constitution is written. If you read it carefully, and if you go to the history, our founders said, yes, let the people vote for the president. But the state legislature sets the rules, and only the state legislature. And the state legislature picks the electors. They do not have to do it according to the popular vote. And the state legislatures allow the House of Representatives to pick the president. Okay, and in the way the 12th Amendment, and the Senate picks the vice president. We currently hold the majority in the Senate. It's going to be decided with these two elections in Georgia. By the way, you could just go.
Attention homeowners, do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Go to Georgia, I guess, and get a motel and then say you're going to move there and they let you vote. I mean, that's another Democrat gimmick to win the election by stealing it.
And then you go back to from whence you came.
Yeah, like, California. They had enough money for a $20,000 dinner at this hoity-toity restaurant, not wearing masks with the Governor Newsom. It looks like a movie star, another criminal Nazi Marxist, leftist wants to architect everything with rules, shut down put on your masks, wear your armband with the swastika, the yellows, the Jew mark. If you don't, we'll just kill you in the streets because you violated the law. You have to have the mark of the Jew on you.
The yellow star.
Yellow star. You got to put your mask on. Wait until they make the Jews wear yellow star masks. Oh, they'll do it. They're capable. They hate Jews. You think the Democrats are not anti-Semitic? Listen to them. Okay, so in the Constitution, originally, it was the United States are, because we were the states, the people were sovereign. We, the people, the Declaration of Independence, we, the people. When it gets to be like this with the British, I'm sorry, the rules are off. We break the government under which we are subject as Great Britain. We form our own government, and we create it for freedom. And that's called a revolution. George Washington Benjamin Franklin said, we better work together because we're either all going to hang separately and it will be easier to hang separately, or we're all going to hang together. Let's get together. Let's make them round us all up and kill us all.
Well, and Dr. Corsi, you're talking a kind of like the Operation Mockingbird approach that the Hive, the left, has to all of these issues. And you had flagged a video that enables us to actually hear the way that they work together in order to push a common theme. And it's pretty incredible when you listen to this.
Yeah, the CIA went rogue, and the CIA rigs elections, and the CIA uses and created this Dominion software to put communist governments in Venezuela and in Argentina with rigged elections. So Chavez and Maduro, it didn't matter who voted because they were going to win the election. Just like Joe Biden said, you don't have to vote for me because I'm going to win. and we would get the biggest voter fraud mechanism in history. He said both those things.
And Dr. Corsi, we've got a clip that shows how the Mockingbird media today.
I'm getting there, Craig. I'm getting there. And so the CIA, going back into the 50s, was a subversive organization trying to make the United States into a one world government, get rid of the United States and go into this, one world government, kumbaya, George H.W. Bush.
His responsibility is
world order. We don't need it. Let's just stay with the old world order, the Constitution and freedom. At any rate, CIA started funding the media so they could control the message that you heard, and a PSYOP, psychological operation, designed to condition you, to brainwash you to think the way they wanted it to do. And by the way, we the people, the next level of sovereignty was the states. And then the federal government only really came into ascendancy as the United States is in Lincoln's time, when he had to assert all these powers to win the Civil War. And Lincoln created the imperial presidency and threw some of the rules to the wind to save the Union. And let's not debate whether that was right or wrong, because, right now, one of the rules in international relationships is let's not think about it in terms of traditional morality, because the nation's got to survive. The Jewish state has to continue living. We'll nuke the world if we have to save Israel. So in the Constitution, it's really the state legislature that picks the president. And they'll let the people pick the president as long as the people vote legitimately. And they have to certify that, because the state election has to pick the electors, and they're only going to be by popular vote if the state legislature decides that's legitimate. Ultimately, it's we the people, because the people vote for the House members, and they control the delegations, who's got the control. But the real we the people is the state legislature, because the state said to form this, the sovereignty will transfer to the states, but not to the federal government, because it's still up here, but with limited powers. That's how the Constitution is written. Okay, now show how the CIA went rogue and play that, please, Craig, that Mockingbird video.
Yep. This is where we are today.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 And I'm Ryan Wolf. I would say that the Mockingbird media is what's extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Absolutely. And it's going to have to be put to an end, because those people are committing treason. The CIA is committing treason. Okay, now, President Trump's made a couple of changes in the government. He got rid of Esper, who was the Secretary of Defense. And he, I think, committed treason because he said in June, when Black Lives Matter was wanting to burn down St. John's Episcopal Church, this little beautiful church across from Lafayette Park. I prayed there for every time I've been in Washington, going probably back decades. And no, definitely going back. I was just trying to remember whether it was the 50s when I was first in that church. Every president since Monroe has been in the that church praying, and the Antifa wanted to burn it down. So one Donald Trump walked out of the White House and held a Bible up, and these demons of the mainstream media vilified him for doing that. Well, Donald Trump was right, and the changes that he made, he got rid of Esper, who said that he would not invoke if President Trump invoked the Insurrection Act, which the president alone has the authority to do. This goes back to a law passed by Congress going back to when General Grant of the Civil War was president, the 1870s. I mean, the Civil War ended in 1865, and Grant was not the president. It was Andrew Johnson first, and he was vice president. He had some problems with alcohol. They eventually wanted to impeach him. They didn't succeed in the Senate trial. The impeachment is the trial. It's not. Impeachment is coming to trial. If you lose the trial and as president, then you're removed from office. Well, he wasn't removed. He was impeached, but he wasn't. The trial occurred, but he wasn't removed from office. At any rate, the president invokes the Insurrection Act, sending the military in to quell a civil disturbance that is really an insurrection, a movement against the government. And Black Lives Matter was not peaceful protests like Esper said, and they wanted to defend the First Amendment rights of these Marxist revolutionaries. And Trump knew that's what they were. Well, until he could get rid of Esper, he didn't control the military. And he put in an acting Secretary of Defense. Okay. And that acting, who is that? He's Christopher Miller. And who is Christopher Miller?
He comes out of the counterterrorism community.
That's right. Okay. He was the Assistant Director of Defense for Special Operations and Low Intensity Conflict. Okay, which was the forces used in counterterrorism. Okay, and the Military Information Support Operations, MISO, information, unconventional warfare, irregular warfare, direct action. And we've got a book that is a free book on Corsi.com, not just the hydroxychloroquine one, which is free. And by the way, the TeleMD program is doing all-time interviews with doctors, hydroxychloroquine. If the states are locking down again, a lot of people are getting hydroxychloroquine through that program. And it doesn't sell hydroxychloroquine, but the MDs will give you prescribe hydroxychloroquine if it meets your needs for either COVID or prevention of COVID. At any rate, the other one. What's the other one, Craig?
I'm sorry?
What's the other free book on our website?
Okay, so the second one is by Rich Higgins, and it's all about the left's strategy and tactics to transform America from unconstrained analytics.
Okay, now that's the use of the counterterrorism, and it's a brilliant book. You have to put some attention into reading it. It goes into the history of Marxism and all, but it is just brilliant. It's free. That's done by counterintelligence experts. Who wrote that book?
Yeah, it's Rich Higgins and Stephen Coughlin, and they got a great background in intelligence.
And they're brilliant. We've interviewed them. There are videos we have on the website of these guys. And there's so much information on our website. We'll have to reorganize it a little bit to make it easier to get to this information. We'll have to do that when we get some time. Right now, we're too busy saving the Republic and doing our part in that, which, limited as it may be, we're doing it. And by making this guy, Christopher Miller, head of the Defense Department, and getting rid of Esper, who was a traitor, we're going to refuse to get rid of that. Means the military is now controlled by a counterterrorism expert. And if you look at the picture of this guy, he's got the same look that Higgins and Coughlin have. I mean, I look at this guy's eyes. Let me make sure you get it right here, Craig. I'll give it to you, so it's not going to be hard. Here you go. 1 second. Hold on. I get rid of that, and then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to copy the link, and I'm going to give it to you so you can put this up on the screen. Here we go, and there you go. That's the Miller page, and when you take a look at this guy, get it up there, Craig, and let me know it's on the screen so everybody can see it. Take your time.
It's up there right now.
What do you see about this guy?
Determination.
Yeah, look at those eyes.
Steely-eyed.
Look at that
man,
mouth.
He's ready to go.
Look at that mouth. I mean,
I'm not going to take any crap from anybody.
Anybody raised by a father who was a man knows that look. when your dad looks at you like that, what happens, Craig?
You melt. You hide under your bed.
No, you just take your pants down and say, go ahead and whip me. I know what I did. I deserve it. And your dad will punish you. Say, don't ever do that. It doesn't make any difference what you did. It's bad dog. You know, when you get a bad dog that makes a mess on the carpet, what do? You swat it.
Whack him with a newspaper.
You whack him with a newspaper. You don't really want to hurt him, but you want to get his attention. Don't do that, because this is what happens. That is painful. Don't do that. Go outside. Go outside, do that. Don't get whacked with a paper. Dog thinks, whacked with a paper? No paper? I think I'll go outside. Even though it might be a little cold, I don't like getting whacked by the paper. You know, dogs are pretty simple. Treat. You get it when you did what I want you to treat. Well, the dog says, I think I'll do more of that. You just did reinforce the dog. Okay, this guy, I don't want to mess with this guy. Now, Trump also just fired somebody. Who did he fire in the department?
Over in the Department of Defense, he kind of cleaned out, and he put in Ezra Watnick, Cohen Watnick, in there as the intelligence leader over in the Department of Defense.
I'm going to show you this guy. This is a YouTube video. Now, his name is Ezra Cohen Watnick. Okay, and he is now
today to the Department
he deals
of
with
Defense.
Special operations, civilian special operations in the Department of Defense, and he replaces Krebs, who had that job and was a Marxist Antifa lover. And this guy,
Krebs was the DHS guy.
Well, it doesn't make. Yeah, you're right. Krebs was DHS, but now they just took over this department and they got DHS controlled now. Okay, and Trump is getting ready to use the military to get Antifa and get rid of Black Lives Matter. I know Trump. I know what he's doing. I know how he's being advised. And the other thing about this guy, which I want to point out, is Ezra Cohen Watnick. I just think he might happen to be a Jew.
Yep.
And
has started
Trump
the
said,
process.
we got a clean house here. And Biden and this woman, Kamala
Harris.
Harris. Yeah, just Harris. She's going to fund the Palestinians, and he's going to work with Iran. Let's put the Jews in charge of the military, counterintelligence, and let's let them go to work. Well, like I said, when you don't piss off the Jews over threatening Israel, because they're going to come cut your throat. Middle of the night. Go read the story of the Passover, the angel of death. Don't mess with the Jews. Okay, so you've got this video up here. It only lasts 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I want you to play this whole video here, Craig. You got it?
Yep, I've got it. Putting it up on the screen right now. He's delivering a speech.
We're going to end with this and play the whole thing. I'm going to mute myself. Come back when it's over, and I'll come back on. I want everybody to hear the entire what he says. Okay, go ahead.
You go.
Today, the Department of Defense has started the process of formalizing what we have long known, the fundamental role of U.S. Special Operations in defense and foreign policy, by elevating Special Operations forces to a level on par with military departments as authorized and directed by Congress. As we enact these reforms, we follow the vision of President John F. Kennedy, who predicted the rise of special operations nearly 60 years ago. He foresaw, quote, another type of war, new in its intensity, ancient in its origin, that would require a whole new kind of strategy, a wholly different kind of forces which are too unconventional to be called conventional forces, which are growing in number and importance and significance. President Kennedy gave these remarks at the opening of the nuclear age, when the Pentagon was primarily organized to plan and direct large conventional operations against superpowers, not special operations short of overt declared conflict. The global demands for special operations forces then and now has confirmed President Kennedy's foresight. And now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of special operations forces. It is fitting that we are again entering an era of great power competition as we gather to affirm the importance of the special operations community. Then as now, I know Special Operations Forces will play a vital role, and by the historic reforms we have enacted today, we will ensure Special Operations Forces has a civilian advocate commensurate to the secretaries of the other military departments. I am honored to serve as your service secretary. Thank you very much.
And Dr. Corsi, do you think it's any coincidence that his mentor is Lieutenant General Michael Flynn? You're muted.
Well, let's bring in Kayleigh McEnany. She's functioning with us today as the White House press secretary. So this news came a bit of a surprise when Krebs was.
And who's directing the legal team now under Giuliani?
Sidney Powell, and Sidney Powell is Michael Flynn's attorney. Gee whiz.
You don't think Michael Flynn might have a role in this, do you? What's that picture with Giuliani and they're smiling?
They're smiling together, Giuliani and Flynn. Is this all coming together or what?
And who's in the foreground when this Watnick guy, the Jew, is given the speech? That's the Secretary of Defense. That's Cohen. Miller. That's Miller. Miller, Cohen. What did he really say?
Bottom line is, to me, what he's saying is this is breaking up like the CIA's stranglehold over the intelligence community and their willingness to do it quickly and using strength.
What he said was that the Secretary of Defense is now a warrior specializing in special operations, which means I'm going to put in place a Jew killer and we're going to destroy Antifa, Black Lives Matter. These guys, we have pictures of who they are. We'll go arrest them in the middle of the night. This wasn't just fun in the streets. These people are going to federal prison, and some of them are going to be charged with treason. What's the penalty if you're convicted of treason?
Yeah, hanging.
Still the penalty. And by the way, the CIA, well, we're not going to replace Haspel exactly today because we want a little bit more evidence of crimes because the CIA has been stealing elections. What tool they've been using to steal elections?
Dominion software and everything that was developed in Venezuela to steal that election for Chavez. That was just the beta test.
And to use it in Argentina to put in a communist government that's there now?
Absolutely. And now it's here.
And what was Jack Kennedy saying?
He was going to break up the CIA into 1,000 pieces.
And what was Jack Kennedy saying about special operations?
They are the key to victory in these kind of military operations.
Well, we're going to be having an internal turmoil. It's not going to be quite like an army in the field. They're going to try now to destroy it within because the communists have learned how to architect these revolutions. So we're going to need a group of military experts like Higgins and Coughlin.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
And we're just going to say, now, boys, how do we beat this? How do we break the mainstream media? How do we get rid of Jack Dorsey? And how do we get rid of Zuckerberg? And what do you think, Zach? What do you think? If Watnick were living at the time of the Exodus, the movement of the Jews out of Israel, and that's celebrated by a particular...
Out of Egypt.
Out of Egypt. It's celebrated by a particular feast in the Jewish feasts. Which feast was that?
Passover.
What happened to Passover?
Well, you put blood over the lintels of the doorways, and that protected you from God's wrath.
What was God's wrath?
God's wrath was against everyone who was holding his people, his chosen people, in bondage.
Well, as I remember, I think there was this angel of death involved.
There was.
What did the angel of death do?
It passed over the doors of the Jews and...
Hence, passed over. It passed over saw the mark, passed over. What happened? What did the angel do next?
He picked off everybody that was not.
I think he killed. Didn't he kill the firstborn of everybody?
Firstborn of everyone, including Pharaoh's son.
They went and killed every firstborn, the next generation of the Egyptians. That's what the angel of death did. What was God's message to the Pharaoh?
Don't mess with Jews.
Don't mess with my people. A bad idea. Better listen to the Jews. They want to go? What did the Pharaoh say?
Go. Get out of here now.
Here's the door. What are you waiting for? You want out,
you want out of chariots.
Here? Okay. What did Cyrus the Great say of the Babylonian captivity?
You got me there.
Why don't you guys just get out of Babylon and go home? And what do you want to do when you go? Well, we want to build a temple. We're kind of broke here. Okay, what do you need to build a temple? We need some gold. We need some money. Okay, give it to them. If they're going to leave, give it to them. Because they want to go, this is before the Exodus, right? And they want to go back to Israel. I mean, Jews are always getting out of Israel because they're disrespecting God. God throws them out. And God said, they'll come back after the Holocaust. They'll come back. We'll recreate Israel, and that's it. Nobody touches Israel. Ezekiel, anybody messes with Israel, boom. Israel punches the button and nukes the world. Yalon
Lord disciplines his people, nobody else.
Yalon says, even if we cause a global international nuclear war, we are defending Israel. It doesn't matter the cost. We will not allow the state of Israel to be destroyed. Whole world destroyed? Israel wasn't destroyed by the rest of these criminal worlds. The whole world becomes criminal and attacks Israel. Don't do it. Let me introduce you to the angel of death.
It makes the Kraken look like Mickey Mouse.
You want to talk about releasing the Kraken? Here it comes. Boom. Now the Jews are in charge. Oh, look, let's just get rid of let's just do it. Let's help them out. Let's identify these people. Let's get rid of these Democrats. Democrat, send in the special operations. Find out their criminality. Go after Newsom with this party. Arrest him. Let's just kill these guys before they kill us. By the way, tell God, hold the angel of death in abeyance. We don't need it this time. We'll just do it ourselves. Okay. We got Miller, we got Watnick, Ezra Cohen Watnick, whatever his name is. But
we got the trumpet.
You got the trumpet. We got the Jericho march. Look, we got it down. We read the book of Ezra. We've read Exodus. We understand the books of Moses. God, we got it. Thank you. You can keep the angel of death. We don't need him today. We might need him. We'll take care of this now. Who's the president?
I think it's Trump.
And Trump went to a little country and visited Yad Vashem and prayed at the wall. And he had a spiritual experience doing it. I think I know why Flynn and Giuliani are smiling and why the election's not going to be certified in Wayne County, why Pennsylvania is going to hear this case, and why Barrett is going to say, let's bring it in here. We'll send it to Congress. And nobody's going to be afraid anymore. Fear not. Why aren't they going to be afraid? Because the Jews are in charge. God's in charge. We're going to blow the trumpet. Everybody's going to get out and do it. Follow this Jericho march. Get involved. American people are going to get out in the streets. We're going to blow the trumpet. We're all going to go to trumpet.today. That's going to become our site. Donald Trump is going to be on trumpet.today. We're going to bring your trumpets with you, the horns, the ram's horns. Bring them all. We're going to blow them, and the walls of the state legislatures are going to come down. This election is not going to be certified, and we're sending Miller and Watnick with special operations, military and civilian, and maybe the first people we're going to pick up and arrest are Haspel, and then we'll go after the entire CIA and Mockingbird, get all those criminals, the ones who did Dominion, all the Democrats. If you're a Democrat, let's just arrest you, and we'll sort out later whether you're a Marxist.
Gitmo is ready.
I said from the beginning this was going to end with Democrats having a big D in their back, and they're going to be hunted like deer in a hunting season. It's going to be maybe a Democrat's going to be like being a deer in hunting season. They're all going to try to get so deep in the forest and not move that you can't find them. What they don't know is that sets them up to be found.
Last chance to repent is right now.
I'd say before you face justice, which you will, it might be a good idea to get down on your knees and denounce and renounce Satan. And most of them won't. Well, that's okay. I'm not worried about that because they'll be before the throne of God. And they'll have to face, as Ruth Bader Ginsburg did, all the souls of the fetuses that they died and the generations of their children in the future that weren't permitted to come into being. And they'll be the judge and jury. God will say, well, what do you think we ought to do with these people? And there's a place created where they just might go, and that'll be God's decision, not mine.
Blood cries out from the ground.
I think we've given the story today. I think we can wrap it up. If you appreciate what we're doing, we appreciate donations. I got a couple of books we're going to sign. That's all I'm going to say about it. We've got the TeleMD program that's designed to help you live. And we've got Swiss America with the Walking Liberty Dollar offer at about what they cost. You can get 250 of them at under $12 each. They're worth that for the silver. So the TeleMD, you can live, gold and silver, Swiss America, and you'll have some money in your pocket that isn't worthless. So that's what we're about, and we'd be happy to accept donations. We'll continue either way. Doesn't make any difference. We're on a mission from God here. We're not on a mission to make money. But we face the realities, and we appreciate donations. Okay, Craig, what would you like? Final comments?
Just fear not, stay strong.
My final comment today, it always is, in the end, God always wins. And God will win here too. We pray for the will of God to be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's the prayer Jesus gave us to say.
Amen.
This is Dr. Jerome Corsi. Today is Thursday, November 19th, 2020. I'm here with my producer, Craig. We'll be back tomorrow with one final broadcast to wrap up this week. Thank you for watching. God bless all for being here.
God bless.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.